Getting all around my room, my world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video here on the Water Juice channel, and welcome to a special video, a one-off video. As we normally do at the beginning of a cycle of Madden, we tend to do a few experiments. I've already done the 2024 rookie class on a single team, see if they could win the Super Bowl. Spoiler, they couldn't. But today is a classic one. An absolute classic. It happens every single year on every single YouTube channel that does Madden content or any sports-related video game content. It is a fantasy draft rebuild. That's right, the OG rebuild, the classic, the stalwart, the great rebuild. It is time to rebuild a team in Madden 25 via fantasy draft. Restart the NFL, reset it completely, and see if we can win a championship. So if you're going to enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Let me know down below in the comments if you have any other challenge suggestions or teams you want to see me rebuild, because I am open to anything. So let's get started here, and let's officially reset the NFL. All right, so we are here at the team selection screen, because when you're doing a fantasy draft, it really doesn't matter what team you choose, because obviously none of these players that are suggested here, the top players, are going to be on that team. So what we're going to do is there is a selection at the bottom of the screen that says random team. I'm going to press that 5 times, and whatever team we land on is going to be the team that we rebuild with. So just removes any sort of bias that I may or may not have against the team, and we're just going to rebuild them. So I will press the triangle button 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're rebuilding the Houston Texans. Okay, so that is the team that gets to be chosen, and you get to see my slider selection as well. Or not my slider selection, my setting selection, I guess. So all Madden difficulty, as every one of my videos are. The multimeter for the kicking, 6-minute quarters. Everything else here stays the same. We go all the way down here. We turn off tutorial pop-ups. I turn off trade deadline. Salary cap is on. As you can see, trade difficulty stays at normal. Injuries off. Practice injuries pre-existing. Progressive fatigue off. Draft timer off. Regression off. Then we get fill rosters off. And that's basically what my settings are for every single one of my videos. So if you're ever curious about that, that is how we do it. But this is where we choose. We're going to be D'Amico Ryans, because why not? This is where we choose fantasy draft, as you can see. And this is a little bit of a tutorial in case this is the first time you've ever picked up a video game of Madden. So, and for this being your first time, yikes, I apologize. But if you ever want to do a fantasy draft and you're not sure how to do it, you just go to the starting point and you go down all the way over here to fantasy draft, and then you click start playing. I know most of the people watching this video know how to do that, but just in case somebody's never done it before. And now here we are. Start our fantasy draft. Now this is going to be very big. What pick are we going to be picking at? What spot are we going to be picking at in the draft? So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Start drafting. What's the pick we're going to have? It is actually pick 12. That's not that bad. Yeah, we're not going to get one of the elite quarterbacks, as you can see by the top 4 picks going to be the elite quarterbacks in the league. Actually, the first 9 picks are quarterbacks. That's actually kind of crazy. Then you got Micah Parsons and Sauce Gardner. I was kind of hoping Micah would fall to us. That'd be an elite first pick. But number 12 is not bad, because we still get to get an elite player. And we also don't have to have the pressure of picking at like the top 4, top 6. Okay. So if I want to just... Can I just sort by... Hold on, they changed this? Can I not just sort by somebody? Oh my god. Well, looks like we're drafting Chris Lindstrom. I wanted to press the sort button. It says it's a good pick. Chris Lindstrom's not a bad player by any means. 27 years old, 94 overall. But it's just a guard that I wasn't planning on picking in the first round, let alone. I accidentally wanted to press the sort button to sort by high overall players, and it didn't. I guess they made square the draft button now, like the quick selection draft button. And now I know that, so I'm not going to be doing that unless I absolutely want to draft the player. Well, that's all. This video's already off to a wild start, drafting a guard with the first round pick. Quarterback, we are definitely going to need to draft somebody because there is nobody here. I mean, we could maybe take a flyer on Joe Milton, maybe develop him, but it already looks like quarterback's going to be our biggest need in the rebuild. Running back is already heavily taken as well. Let's just go for some young guys. I mean, can I just... They changed... Oh, I see it now. They changed the sorting to the triangle button. I didn't see that. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. But there are some youngsters still available at receiver. JSN could be huge. Malik Neighbors could be huge. Okay, so receiver still has some very good players in it, and we might need to get a number 1. Maybe we stick with... Ooh, Jalen Waddle. Ooh. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is... What happened? What happened? Did it skip my pick? The timer's paused. Oh. Wait, now I'm back up in round number 3. What happened? They took a defensive end. Who'd they take? Drafted. Who did we take? All positions. They took Justin Madubuike. Not a bad pick. Just not what I expected. The draft timer's paused. Why? This draft is scuffed. We are scuffed off the rips. Bijan, Jalen Carter. Ooh. Ooh. I think for the first time, I'm actually going to draft somebody that I want to draft, and that is going to be... Ooh, do we draft Jalen Carter or do we have Bijan? We just got Madubuike. So Jalen Carter's probably not... I got to take Bijan. I know Jalen Carter's a stud, but I finally draft somebody that I actually wanted to draft for the first time. It only took me 3 rounds. Madubuike is not a bad pick by any means. Did I just skip my pick? This draft is scuffed. The draft is completely scuffed. Who'd they take? They took Tariq Woolen. Okay, we're actually getting decent players that I'm skipping on accidentally. But that just, you know what? That makes the challenge even more difficult. If I'm messing up, that makes the challenge even more difficult. So let me scout by age. Okay, so some of these guys are gone. JSN is gone, unfortunately. I might need to take Malik Neighbors here. Oh no, JSN is still here. I'm gonna take JSN. I'm gonna take Jackson Smith and Jigba. Gotta get a big time wide receiver. Gotta get a big time wide receiver. Make our next selection. Rashee Rice always wins Players of the Year. There's still some very good players available, some very young players. That's definitely the way that we need to position ourselves for the future of this team, is to be younger. So getting guys like DJ Reader, Alvin Kamara, Micah Hyde is not the way to go. But getting a guy like Rashee Rice, pairing him alongside Jackson Smith and Jigba might not be a bad idea. I think I'm going to do that, actually. Rashee Rice, welcome to the squad. Excuse me, welcome to the squad. On the team now. We probably need to focus a little bit on defense. We're starting to get a little bit away from that. Ooh, Terrion Arnold, but he's probably still going to be here. A lot of these guys are still here, which I didn't think would happen. I see Kyle Pitts there, and I think I might go Kyle Pitts. I know I just said we probably need to focus on defense, but Kyle Pitts could be our tight end for the rebuild. And then we wouldn't have to worry about tight end. So I'm going to grab myself Kyle Pitts. He's only 23 years old. So we are getting ourselves quite the young team. And if we just keep going by age, or I guess we could go by speed rating, that could be pretty fun. Let's go by player age, and then let's go by not the quarterback. JJ McCarthy's still available, though. And we've seen him develop decently because we rebuilt the Vikings recently, so we know that they can develop. We know that he can develop, at least. We've got Bijan. We need to look at the young wide receivers. We already have 2 really good receivers, so I think we can hold off a little bit on receiver because we have Rice and we have JSN. So I think we can hold off a slight bit on that. Tight end, Brock Bowers is still available. Ooh. We did just get Kyle Pitts. Who are some of the young tackles in the league? All of the young, or most of the young tackles are still here, which is really good. Oh, Paris Johnson and J.C. Latham are both available. I'm taking both of them. I really hope Paris Johnson makes it. J.C. Latham on the left, Paris Johnson on the right. The tackles are done for the video. So if we go over here and we search by age again, please still be there, Paris. He is. Perfect. Paris Johnson figured out. We got ourselves our tackles. That's easy. That's done. This is actually becoming a really, really good draft. And I'm going to take Jordan Battle as our safety. I'm coming away. They must have changed the way that the CPU drafts in fantasy drafts, because there's never this many young players available. Von Miller's still available. I might take myself a little Jack Campbell action. Oh my God. This is an outrageous draft so far. And I even screwed up the first 3 rounds. This is an outrageous draft. What is the cornerback position looking like? Because that's something I haven't really focused on. Kamari Lassiter, Abrams Drain, Keely Ringo. Are any of the first rounders from this past draft here? Because that could be really useful. Sean Wade, CJ Henderson. Okay, so we're starting to get into the guys that have been around for a while. Okay, that makes sense. I wasn't fully expecting them to be there, but I was kind of hoping that maybe they would slide through like some of the other guys have. Okay, so we'll focus on corner a little bit later. We do already have Tariq Woolen that they drafted for me, so we're good. We're in a good spot already. D tackle. We didn't get a D tackle, did we? No, because I passed up on Jalen Carter. So, which is a crazy thing to say. Mike Hall Jr. Who knows what's happening to him in real life with his off-the-field stuff, but we might be able to grab him in the game, and that might be pretty good. Also, Jerzon Newton. I might take Jerzon Newton first because he's just a higher overall. And then maybe we come back and we get Mike Hall slightly later. This has been an unbelievable draft. I mean, I'm grabbing people that are super young that are going to develop like crazy. And Latu is available as well. I don't think I can pass that up. We got to take Leatu Latu. Leatu Latu? I feel like I'm saying the same name twice. I'm taking him. Oh my God. We are going to be set up in like 2 to 3 years. We're going to be goated. Oh, I don't have my quarterback just yet. That's right. Unless I don't need one. We could just draft one. But you got Spencer Rattler and Joe Milton. Those are probably, and Michael Penix Jr., I guess. But we've had our time with Michael Penix Jr. in that Julio Jones video that I did, and he didn't really do anything. So I'm thinking I either go Joe Milton or Spencer Rattler. Throw power is 97 for Joe Milton. He's a gunslinger. We know this. His accuracies are kind of bad, but if we put him in the right scheme, maybe Joe Milton turns into a great player. So we're going to have him on the team. I didn't mean to back up the first time. We're going to have him on the team. He's going to be our pick for right now, and he'll be our quarterback in year number 1. But that doesn't mean we're not going to draft somebody in a draft. I mean, he's not safe by any means. We need to go offensive line, though. I got my 2 tackles, but we need to go offensive line. So what kind of youngsters are here? Zach Zinter, Zion Johnson, Bergeron. Yeah, they definitely did something to the drafting AI, because there is no way that all of these youngsters are still here this late into it. So I'm going to take either Bergeron or Zion Johnson. I feel like that's the smartest idea. Let's just take Zion Johnson. Stud. Great player. So we got left tackle, we got left guard, we've got right tackle. I think that's all of the positions we've... Oh, no, we got right guard as well because we got Lindstrom with the first pick. So we got our right and left tackle. We've got our left guard, we've got our right guard, and we got our right tackle, which is Paris Johnson. So all we need is a center, and our offensive line is probably done for the video, which is kind of crazy to say. And Graham Barton is still available. Our offensive line's done. I don't even have to draft anything. This is going to be the easiest rebuild ever. This is going to be the easiest freaking rebuild ever. And Keon Coleman is still available this late into the draft. I'm taking him. That's another wide receiver option. Joe Milton's definitely going to have some people to throw the football to. I'm going to take Caleb Farley as well. Get another corner who's decently young. We're in round 19 already. This is flying by. Alec Pierce is available at wide receiver. A lot of the receivers are now coming up. Adonai Mitchell. I might go Adonai with the speed. Although Cam Smith is available, and he's got 95 acceleration, 91 speed. That's pretty elite to have at corner. I'm going to take Cam Smith. 23 years old. We've got an unbelievable young team. I've never had this young of a team in a fantasy draft before. This is absolutely wild. It looks like maybe our boy Mitchell got taken. That's okay. So what kind of positions do we need? We don't need right tackle because we already took that. We might need another tight end. What kind of tight ends are still available here? Player age, Jatavion Sanders, Ben Sinnott, or Sinnott. Luke Musgrave, I like that. Eric All. There's still some decent options at tight end. And remember, this is just a backup. This isn't like, ooh, but I might go Cade Stover. I might go Cade Stover simply for the Buckeye connection. There are still some really good tight ends available, but I think I'm going to go Cade. I can wait on Cade Stover. If I'm going to go Cade Stover, I can wait on Cade Stover. So we're not going to go him just yet. We do need to work on the defensive line, I think. So what kind of defensive line do we got here? We got Mason Smith. We've got Wingo, Dexter, McKinley Jackson. Okay, so the youngsters are starting to dry up, and now we're just getting the guys that aren't super great. But that, I mean, we are around 21, so it had to have arrived at some point. And now I'm kind of wishing I didn't pass up on Jalen Carter, but I had to take Bijan. I couldn't pass up on Bijan. We know how good Bijan develops, how quickly he develops. At D tackle, what do I have? I have Jerzon Newton. That's right. So at least I have a D tackle, number 1. So this is basically just for a backup, and if it's going to be just a backup, I might as well just go with a youngster like Mason Smith. I don't know if he has a development trait. He doesn't, but still, a youngster that has a chance of developing. I'm not going to pass it up. But the Lions just took Michael Penix Jr., I just saw. We could take Will Shipley. That could be fun. Ship. Samir White. Alontae Taylor. I always talk about how big of a Alontae Taylor guy I am, so I might as well back that up by taking him. I love Alontae Taylor. I think he's a really good player. Oh, man, this has been a fun draft. I might have to do more of these if this is how they adjusted it. There could be some fun little challenges to do here. Ooh, youngster Jaden Hicks with 91 acceleration, 89 speed, a strong safety. I feel like we already have a good strong safety, but I can't pass the Tyree Wilson, too. I'm taking Tyree Wilson. If Jaden Hicks is still available, I'll take him. But, I mean, this is a crazy good draft. Okay, looks like Jaden Hicks did get grabbed. But Jalen Hyatt's available. Talk about speed. I'm going to take me some Jalen Hyatt. We're getting some crazy good draft picks. We are young, which is not something you ever say when you're doing a draft. So we have our quarterback in Joe Milton, at least for right now. He's not guaranteed at all to be our starting quarterback for the future. We have Bijan. We don't need a fullback. We have 4 wide receivers. JSN, Rashee Rice, Keon Coleman, Jalen Hyatt. I really like the receiving core we have right now. They're all super young. Tight end, we have Kyle Pitts. We're done with offensive line. Justin Madubuike. We have 2 defensive ends with Latu and Wilson, 2 other right ends. 2 D tackles. Oh, we need linebacker. I haven't really even focused on linebacker at all. And we have 4 corners. We have Melifonwu, and then we have Jordan Battle. So we need to focus on linebacker. That's where we need to go. Okay, so let's get over to linebacker because we don't have any of those guys. And let's hope some of the youngsters are still available. We've got Henry Toto. We got Zach Harrison. Nick Bonito. Okay, the linebacking room is a little bit dry in terms of the young guys that I'd be looking for. We are at round 26 at the end of the day, so it makes sense. There are still some interesting guys here like Jabril Cox or Julian Okwara. Boogie Basham is available. I wonder if Boogie Basham still develops as crazy as he did in Madden 24, because if you gave Boogie Basham like a couple of years of development, he would become like a 94 overall. It was actually kind of wild. What about right outside linebacker? If Tommy Eichenberg is available, I'll take him. I doubt that he is, but if he's still here, I'll take. And he is. Well, I got to back it up now. I got to take Tommy Eichenberg, and I did just see Braylon Trice was there as well. So I might come back and grab him. And I might move Tommy Eichenberg to middle linebacker. I feel like that suits him a little bit more. Is Trice still available? Oh, I think he got grabbed. Darn it. They always do it. They always grab the guys right when I notice them. So that's okay. I did say that I would take Eichenberg if I saw him. I couldn't back out of it. But there's no other linebackers that I want unless I want to take Pete Warner, which would not be the worst thing in the world. Just build a Buckeye linebacking core. And he's a 76 overall. I might as well take him, especially if I'm going to be moving Warner to middle linebacker. All right, so we're already really good. I think the last couple of picks I'm going to do is we just go for like super young players. Like it's not like we haven't already. I'm going to take Cameron Kinchins. We're going to have him be our backup free safety behind Melifonwu. Kobe's here, Kobe Bryant. Cameron Mitchell, Gervin Dexter. Do we take Gervin? I mean, he could be a good player for us. There's still some very good players left. Maybe not very good. There's still some good players left. It's just a matter of what I needed. Let's take a look at running back and then wide receiver. And maybe another quarterback. Let's take a look at running back first. You got Audric Estime. You got Braylon Allen. I might take Braylon Allen. Deuce Vaughn. I mean, none of these guys are going to play, really, because we have Bijan. So it doesn't really matter who I take. I'm going to take Braylon Allen. Or maybe not. I think it just simulated my pick. I'm going to take Braylon Allen now. I don't know. I have it all on pause and everything. I don't know what's going on. Who did it take now? It took Jeff Wilson. Okay. So we took 2 running backs. Whatever. Let's look at wide receiver. I guess I got to be quicker now. I'm only going to pick a couple more guys, so. Since we still have a whole rebuild to do. Let's see. I'm just having fun seeing this new way they've changed the drafting. There's nobody that's really that crazy. Who's the fastest guy left? 96 speed, 95 speed. Tyquan Thornton's probably the best guy. Let's take Tyquan Thornton. I feel like I gotta just go like super quick now because I gotta make my selection before the auto draft somebody. And the final pick I'm probably gonna make is a quarterback, so another quarterback. So let's look and see who's available. You got Tyson Bagent, you got Max Duggan, who I think just got cut by the Chargers recently. Sam Ellinger. Man, the backup quarterback market is just god-awful, isn't it? We could take Tommy DeVito. That might be pretty fun. Ooh, I might take Kurt. Kurt Benkert, the YouTuber. Might take him. And you know what? He's about the best option I see. So, Kurt, welcome to the team. Maybe I may... never mind. Who'd they take? They took Drew Lock. Forget about that. We're taking Kurt. Get out of here. Who do you think you are? Where's Kurt Benkert at? Taking Drew Lock. Who do I think I am? Where's he at? There he is. Kurt Benkert. We're going to take the YouTuber. He's going to be our backup. And maybe in the future I make a video about him. All right. We're going to end the draft there. Absolute insanity. And I got the trophy for doing a roster reshuffle. So that's how you know that was my first time doing it. All right. Let's take a look at our team. We got a crazy young team. A crazy young team. Now, like I said, quarterback is definitely an option that we need to take. Joe Milton's going to be our starting quarterback. JSN's going to be our #1 receiver. The tackle the offensive line, I couldn't be happier. I'm going to actually just switch Paris Johnson Jr. to be right tackle in his menu, just so that he's always the right tackle. All right. Absolutely amazing. We got Kyle Pitts. Oh, now they switched it to J.C. Latham. Let me just generate best lineup there. Okay, perfect. Joe Milton's the starter. Bijan is the running back. Then defensively, I mean, we are kind of thin in some positions, that is for sure. We probably don't need to be running it, although 4-3 is a 92%. Kind of wild, actually. So we got 88% there, but we could be 92 with a vertical zone run. So let's go to that. And then 92%, 100%. Never mind. 4-6 defense is 100%. You rarely ever see 100% scheme fit. That's kind of wild, actually. So we're gonna be running a 4-6 defense. Linebacker's a little thin. I will admit that. Eichenberg's starting at right outside linebacker for me. If we ever move to a 3-4, then Tommy will move into middle linebacker. But for right now, he's gonna play right outside. I like the team. I like the team a whole lot. Smith is actually going to jump up to #3 corner instead of Volante Taylor, just so we can get the youngster a little bit more playtime. But this team could be very good. It could also be very bad. We're going to run Houston offense, Houston defense, and I'm going to simulate the season. Although I probably should jump into training camp and try to get Joe Milton a thing. So let's do that right now. Let's do that right now. And if you're wondering what I'm drinking, it is a big, huge jug of Tropicana juice. So if you're wondering what I was drinking. All right. Joe Milton, what you got for me, big dog? You got a huge arm. Let's show it off. Ah! That's a double target breaker. That's a good start. It wasn't bullseyes by any means, but Let's see what kind of speed you're working with here. Not too much. Yeah! I feel like I'm a Power Ranger. Yeah! All right. Joe Milton, stand in that pocket and slang that rock. Yeah! Oh, that's another double target, but no catch bonus. That's kind of annoying. We'll slide all the way over to the left side of the field. We'll fire it. Yeah! Another double target. 4 reps remaining. We're kind of cooking right now. Is Joe the future? Is he the guy? Does he have the it factor? Is he off the chain? Got to go against the grain? That's another 2. Another 2-banger. Oh, this is easy. This is an easy one. Hiya! Ooh, I finally missed a 2. But I do get to gold. 20,000 points. 2 reps remaining. Can I get a bullseye here? I think I've only gotten 1 so far. Hiya! That's not a 2. Okay, we got that multiplier up, though. And the final one, it's probably going to be circle. Hiya! Oh, is that a bullseye? Oh, it's inner ring. I thought it was a bullseye. But that's still a really good training camp for Joe Milton. That's definitely going to get him some good XP. Dev trade upgrade? I'm not going to be that lucky, am I? No dev trade upgrade. Absolutely not. No chance. Skill point, though. 2,000 XP skill point. No dev trade upgrade. That's fine. Is there any other ones that I want to do? Maybe we do chase and tackle with Tommy Eichenberg. That might be pretty fun. So let's do that. All right, Tommy. What you got for me? They're going to pitch it out. Pitch? Oh! Oh, no. The game just restarted on the first one. Oh, Madden, fix your broken game. There we go. That's more like it. I don't know how I feel about the new Texans uniforms. I don't think there was anything really wrong with the ones that they had. I just feel like they modernized them to modernize them. There wasn't really any reason to do that. But whatever. Come on, Eichenberg. Get there, big dog. Good tackle. Fumble! Eichenberg. Oh, Bijan tricked me, and he fell down. Good job, offensive line. I totally did that. You're not getting anywhere, Bijan. I hope I'm not hurting Bijan, because he's my prized possession. Eichenberg, good tackle. Gold for Tommy. You're not going anywhere. Get over here. Oh, I almost got fooled there, and I did miss. So it'll be a touchdown for Bijan Robinson. That'll take my multiplier away, but it's only minus 50 for a touchdown. That doesn't hurt you too bad. The biggest thing is it gets rid of your multiplier, and I missed again. Okay, good thing we already got to gold. I need to really confirm gold, though. I need to get a good one here. Need to rough him up a little bit. There it is! Boom tech. Was a slightly early one, though. But I'm going to get him back on that one. I am popping Bijan. Luckily, there's no injuries on because Bijan would be feeling this. Ooh, I like the boom tech working on this one. Oh, he's going to gut inside. I should have known that. I got fooled again. I knew he was going to do that, and I still didn't do what I needed to do. But at least we've confirmed that Eichenberg is going to get gold. That's really not going to be in question. That's an early boom tech, and that's a forced fumble. Okay. Eichenberg. Another big hit. We could get 50,000 here with a big pop. Eichenberg. Slightly early, but I got a green on the boom tech, so we do get 52,000. We're going to get a really good score for Tommy. A really good score. 57,000. We're not even done. We still got one. I thought that was going to be the final rep. Final rep. 62,000 points for Tommy Eichenberg. That's got to be one of the best I've done on that drill. Is that going to get a dev trade upgrade? That'd be a really good start. Just a skill point. Skill point's not bad. He is a 70 overall, so it's not a bad thing to get. Is there anybody else that I really want to focus on? Maybe we do trench battle for Tyree Wilson, and then that's probably it. Because all of my offensive line have development traits. I guess we could do wide receiver battle with somebody. Maybe Jalen Hyatt. We don't need to do rush attack with Bijan. That's just... I'm going to do this one with Tyree Wilson. I think that'll be the last one in training camp that I do. Then we can get to the actual rebuilding part, which I don't even know if there's going to be much rebuilding in this rebuild now that it's so easy to draft young guys in fantasy draft, apparently. Oh, that's not a good start for Tyree Wilson. Break off it, big dog. Don't get stuck. Run, Tyree. Get out of it. Break out of it. Break out of it. Oh, my God. This is not going the way I need it to go. This is why he needs to get the upgrade. Get there, Tyree. Tackle him. I missed the target. Darn it. I like the regular trench battle, not the long haul. This one's annoying. Good job. He broke out of it. Got that multiplier. Get out of my way. Stop doing your job. Oh, my God. This third guy gives me the problems. Who is that? Oh, it's Paris Johnson Jr. Oh, no. Oh, I broke out of it. Thank God. Get out of it. Oh, yeah. Throw him away. And then hit him. Get to silver. Good job, Tyree. 1 rep remaining. We got to get gold here. Be quicker. You got to be quicker than that. Just bowl through him. Bowl through him, Tyree. Man, Paris Johnson, I mean, obviously he's a good blocker. He's doing a good job on me. Get through. Get through. I think that's J.C. Latham at the end there. Got him. Boom tech. Oh, they didn't give me the hit stick. But I got gold, 4,000. Could have done better, obviously, because I missed the target the first time. But maybe that'll give Tyree Wilson something to work with. And it gives him a skill point. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. No dev trade upgrades, but we still got some big-time skill points. I will completely take that. So we got some storylines that we're not going to care about. And then we've got some big upgrades. Tyree Wilson, Cam Smith, Tommy Eichenberg, Tyree. We probably want to focus on power rusher, but maybe get speed rusher up a little bit. Could be useful. Just to kind of get him a little bit more well-balanced. So we do that. Then we work on Cam Smith. He's already really fast. I think his man-to-man needs to be a little bit better. That's also the scheme fit. And we are 100% scheme fit. So his man coverage probably does need to be a little bit better. Tommy Eichenberg. We need to get your... If you're going to be a middle linebacker, you need to get your pass coverage up, probably. So we'll do that. Bada bing, bada boom. And perfect. And then the last guy that we'll focus on is good old Joe Milton. He needs everything, basically. But we'll give him field general. Because his strong arm and his deep accuracy are already, I think, okay. Actually, short accuracy is the better of the two. I thought the deep accuracy was better. All right, we'll figure out what we want to do with Joe. But he's got to play some games first. I don't think we're going to play very well this first year. Not because the team's bad. I think the team's really good. I just think that Joe Milton is such a bad overall that it's going to hurt him. But we'll find out. We will find out as we finish up the preseason. We got to cut 3 guys. Who's getting cut? Who's getting cut? People are going to lose their job. Who's it going to be? We went 2-1 in the preseason, which means literally nothing, but it's cool. Mark Webb, you don't have a job anymore. Keidron Smith, you don't have a job anymore. Troy Reeder, sorry, not sorry, you don't have a job anymore. Go bag groceries. Okay, week number 1 against the Colts. We will simulate year number 1. You know what the team looks like. I will set the auto-generated draft class. Hopefully there's a quarterback in this class. I will set my scout to be, oh, it already is, quarterback, tight end. Perfect. So we will have our scout ready to go for quarterbacks, and quarterback is not a strength of the class. So it might be Joe Milton for 2 seasons. I don't know. Maybe we'll find ourselves a guy anyway. Actually, you know what? I don't want tight end quarterback. I want, let's fire you. I want, can I do quarterback and linebacker? Is that a thing? I can. Middle linebacker and quarterback is an option. I might do that one. There's also quarterback tight end, which we just had. Quarterback strong safety or safety in general. What other quarterback ones are there? Quarterback and another tight end. Oh, that's the guy that we had. So who's the other dude? There's another quarterback tight end. Wesley Hale. I'm going to do quarterback middle linebacker. I think that could be pretty fun. Esther Masui. Okay. Welcome, big dog. You are now our national scout. And I'm probably going to do national focus be middle linebacker. And then we'll just scout quarterbacks individually. So, yeah, I'm going to simulate year number 1. You know what the team looks like. I don't know how good we're going to simulate, especially with Joe Milton at quarterback. Maybe he'll surprise me. I don't know. Let's find out. Breaking news. It seems like quarterback is an important position in the game of football. We went 2-15 in the first year of the fantasy draft rebuild. Even with the amount of young talent that I drafted, because we had Joe Milton starting at quarterback for us the whole year, we did not play well. That is an understatement. Everybody's playing down with bad morale. Yeah, let's just say we need to get a quarterback, and we need to get a quarterback immediately. The only problem is I've taken a look at the draft, and there is not a quarterback that is good. At least not initially. So Joe Milton in his first season, 2,700 yards, 16 touchdowns, 14 picks. Very bad year for Joe Milton, but I mean, he's a sub 70 overall player. What'd you expect? 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns from Bijan. That's about exactly what I expected from him. No 1,000-yard receiver. Not shocked. They did good for what they had throwing him the football. Defensively, Jack Campbell was a stud. Tariq Woolen was a stud. Pete Werner was great. Justin Madubuike had 19 sacks. I mean, oh my God, are you serious right now? Is the Houston Texan defense playbook like just dominant for a sack number? I mean, that's a crazy amount of sacks. Latu had 8. Interceptions, we had a few. Hopefully Tariq Woolen can go up to star development because that'd be really useful. There is the potential of a really good corner in this class, which we could use corner. So we're going to have the number 1 overall pick. I think that's fairly safe to say. So we could use that number 1 pick to trade down because it's going to have crazy good value. At least it usually has crazy good value. I'm assuming it still does. Latu, I wonder if he won Defensive Rookie of the Year. He got 2 skill points? There's a possibility. The Saints are dominating. MVP for Lamar Jackson. Offensive Player of the Year for Mike Williams. Okay. What year is it? We can take a look at the season recap and all the good stuff here. So we've got MVP Lamar Jackson. Mahomes still gets MVPs even on the Vikings. Or still gets Super Bowls on the Vikings. McCaffrey wins Offensive Player of the Year for the Steelers. DeMarcus Lawrence for the Bills. Malik Neighbors Offensive Rookie of the Year for the Browns. I almost had him. And then Latu does, in fact, win Defensive Rookie of the Year. So that's huge. He's going to get a dev trade upgrade. He's going to go up to Superstar Development. He's going to be a great player for me. I'm happy that we took him. I'm also curious to see if we get any other dev trade upgrades. Maybe Joe Milton? I highly doubt it. I highly, highly doubt that Joe Milton gets a dev trade upgrade. He does not. Nobody on the offense does. Everybody is still the exact same. Defense? Superstar development for Latu, but nothing else. Not even Madubuike with those 19 sacks. Doesn't even go up to Superstar. Kind of upset. Oh, Kitchens went up. Well, I'm going to make him the starter then, because he was normal development. But I'm kind of upset that Tariq Woolen didn't go up. I was kind of hoping. I was kind of banking, actually, that he would. But we see some progress from some of the youngsters, but now it's the important stuff. Now it is time for free agency in the draft. And luckily, we drafted such a young team that even with the contracts that get messed up, we don't have really anybody to sign. I had to re-sign Bijan. Bijan was like our big signing. I gave him a 7-year contract extension because we had like $130-something million in available cap room. So I re-signed him and I locked him up. That was like our big signing. I will sign Cam Little to an extension just because we need a kicker and there's probably nobody better. Well, there probably is, but it doesn't really, the kicker doesn't matter. Then we go over here and we decide about Joe Milton. We probably do need to bring Joe Milton back until I figure out my backup plan, or my starting plan, I guess I should say. So we bring Joe Milton back on a new contract. The only problem with doing a fantasy draft is the whatchamacallits, the contracts are going to be completely messed up for free agency. So unless they fix that, maybe they just gave everybody their actual contract even in free agency or even in fantasy draft. I have no idea. I know that previously when you do a fantasy draft, all of the contracts would get like shaken up and screwed up. So it wouldn't be a true free agency. But we're going to find out here. And it looks like they are messed up a little bit because these are not the normal guys that are in free agency. It's usually a lot of kickers. When you do fantasy draft, it's usually a lot of kickers and punters that make it, and then fullbacks, obviously. DeAndre Hopkins is here, but we're good on wide receiver. The only thing we could use is a quarterback, and Anthony Richardson is here. Oh, I'm taking him. 7-year deal. You're going to be on the same contract as Bijan. We're getting the Desperados back together. I just realized that. The Honolulu Desperados are reuniting here in Houston. That's insane. I'm taking that. That's a W. We don't need another running back, but I mean, Tyjae Spears would not be a bad backup. We've got the money. Why not spend it? Probably we should save it for the next couple of years because this is a decent rebuild. But I'm gonna get Tyjae Spears. There's no wide receiver that I want. Probably not. No. Tight end. We could use a backup, I guess, but we're fine with Kyle Pitts. Offensive line. We don't need to go for anybody here. We got our offensive line. Defensive line, we don't need left end. D tackle, we're pretty good on. And then there's nobody here that I'd rather have over what we have already. So we're good there. Outside linebacker, this is where we could use somebody, but I don't think there's going to be anybody good. Middle linebacker, Kaiser White's interesting. But he's 29 already. Jordan Brooks is younger than Kaiser White? That feels wrong. Who else is here? Nobody, really. And then Joe Tryon Shoinka. I think we stick with what we have. Jacorian Bennett, though. I wouldn't mind another decent corner. I know he's only normal development, but he's a decent corner, especially being like, what, a 74 overall or something like that? And he's only 25, although there's a couple guys that are 23. Like Clark Phillips and Cam Mitchell are 23, so maybe those are the better options. But I didn't even notice the 96 speed, 97 XL. Jacorian Bennett, welcome to Houston. We're only going to get you on like a 3-year deal, but that speed's crazy. So welcome to Houston. Any free safeties or strong safeties? Not really. I think we're good with what we have. Although, ooh, Josh Metellus. I do like Josh Metellus, but we're going to go somewhere else. Okay. So our targeted players are Tyjae Spears, Anthony Richardson, and Jacorian Bennett. Obviously, the main one to get is Anthony Richardson. Please sign with me, Anthony. Yes! We got our quarterback, ladies and gentlemen. Who needs to draft a quarterback when you can just pick up a great young quarterback and bring the Honolulu Desperados back? Forget about Joe Milton. Sit down, Joe. We're not winning 2 games this year. We're winning 19 games this year. We add another corner to the team with Jacorian Bennett right down there. Linebackers, it looks like Braswell has jumped to a 75, which is pretty nice. So that means Eichenberg falls. He's a 73. That's not too bad. Are we still 100% scheme fit? No, we're only an 82 scheme fit. Okay. Is there something that's a little bit better? There's an 86 on a 4-3 under and then a 3-4 under. I want to go 3-4 because I want Tommy to play middle linebacker. So we're going to go to 3-4. And that means Eichenberg will play middle linebacker now. And that just takes away so that Jerzon Newton's the only D tackle we need. So Tommy can play middle. I wonder if that's going to improve him or it shouldn't lower him, I wouldn't think. He's a... Really? It takes him down that far? He's still going to start, but that's kind of crazy. He's more of a middle linebacker, I feel like. Whatever. We got Derek Hall. I didn't even realize we had Derek Hall. I do like Derek Hall. He develops decently well if you put him in the right stuff. But it's time for the draft now. We don't need free agency anymore. We're all good on that. Although I probably should sign a backup tight end because I just realized that we were pretty thin at that position. So let's go and sign just somebody at tight end. N'Keal Harry got moved to tight end? When did that happen? I mean, he's not good at catching the football, so being a tight end's probably not the right idea for him. But, hey, you do you, big dog. We got Jatavian Sanders. We batted in the Cowboys for him, but we do get Jatavian Sanders. So let's get to the draft, because I'm assuming that we have the number 1 overall pick. I don't know for sure, but it is fairly good that we do have, like, fairly good odds that we do have the number 1 overall pick. We are the 16th ranked team in the AFC. I don't know if that matters, though. Let's just get to the stuff and find out. We'll get to the stuff and find out. First, we need to look at the mock draft. Do we have that pick? Mock draft number 5, we do. And they have us taking Sammy Adams number 1. Why? I want to take him. I'm not mad that they're projected to take him, but I wanted him to not be a top 5 pick, or at least not be number 1 projected, because I wanted to trade down. But he looks like a freak. He looks like an absolute freak. I'm probably going to take him, but let's show you. I want to show you just how bad these quarterbacks were So let's go to private workouts here. Just take a little peek at how bad these quarterbacks were. This is the guy that I scouted, Christian Hunter. He's around 3 to 4. And then everybody else is just garbage. So now you know why I had to hope that there was going to be a quarterback in free agency. And we got lucky that Richardson was one of them. Now, everybody else, we probably need to go a little bit linebacker. There's a top 5 guy in Deion Ratliff. We only have the one first-round pick. Who are you? BJ Golston. He's got the skills. I think I'm going to use one of my things on him. What about middle linebacker? This is the one that we scouted fully because I had my national scout do that. And there's a 1 to 2 talent here in Cordell Albert, so we'll keep an eye on him. What about left outside linebacker? There could be this guy, Marcus Potter. He's the boy who lived. I think we'll scout him. We'll scout him. We'll scout... where'd he go? BJ Golston. There we go. BJ Golston. And then we'll go down to the D-line probably. And we'll scout maybe somebody like... probably got to go a little bit lower. We'll scout this guy, Nolan Lucas. He's 6'6". So those will be my 3 focus players. Perfecto. And with the number 1 pick, we will be taking that corner. So get ready to speak Texan. Pause the draft. Make my selection. I could trade down, but I feel like taking Sammy Adams is the obvious choice. He's just too good. So welcome to Houston, Sammy Adams. He's the number 1 player in the class, and we took him in number 1. It's obvious. It's pretty obvious. 91 speed, 93 excel. He's just that good. So welcome to the big leagues. Now we skip to round 2, pick 1, and we hope that some of the linebackers are still available. All right, what do we got here? We've got C.J. Holiday, who is a round 1 true talent. What happened to that other linebacker that was... Is that the guy? Was he the linebacker that I saw? I think it might actually have been him. Cordell Albert was the guy that I noticed. So he's still available. He's got better awareness. He's got better power moves. Or hit power, I mean. Ooh, but C.J. Holiday has way better power moves than he does. And he has better finesse moves. I think, but his zone coverage is not as good as Cordell Albert. That's tricky. So do we want... It's basically up to if we want a middle linebacker that rushes the passer or if we want a middle linebacker that covers. That's really what we're debating there. What about the other linebackers? So we've got Marcus Potter still available, and we've got BJ Golston. I think I like Golston a little bit better than Potter. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take... somebody. I don't know. I don't know who I'm going to take. I thought I had my idea, but not going to take Nolan Lucas. I thought I had who I was going to take, but now I'm kind of rethinking. I think I want to take C.J. Holiday because one of Golston or Potter or Albert will still be available in the 3rd round. So I'm going to take C.J. Holiday. We'll be able to get one of the other 3. He was ranked number 21. We get him at number 33. I take that. He's also hidden development, 87 speed, 80 acceleration. Like that a lot. He's got 8 power moves. He's the one that was rushing the passer more than the pass coverage. So now we are here at pick number 1 of the 3rd round. And hopefully one of those linebackers is actually still available, or I'm going to be very upset. So left outside, he's still here. Middle, he's still here. Right, he's still here. But he's actually went to his round 3 to 4 true talent. There's no way that's what it was just recently, right? I could have sworn that he was better than that projected. I think I'm going to take Marcus Potter and hope that Cordell Albert stays around. Yeah, I'm going to take Marcus Potter. He was ranked number 31 in True Value, and we got him number 65. Only normal development, though. Okay. That one kind of stings a little bit. Now we have to hope that Cordell Albert is still available. I don't think he's going to be, but maybe there's a slight chance that he is. Cordell Albert's still available. He's not. Man, I knew he probably wasn't, but I was hoping that maybe he would be. Okay, so now we don't really have a game plan. We've taken all defense in this draft, which is probably for the best. I think that's our biggest need. So now I think what we do is we go to all positions, we search by physicals, and we just look for fast guys. So we've got a guy with elite speed. It's a middle linebacker, actually. The only guy with elite speed left. And we've actually scouted him. Oh, because obviously middle linebacker was our thing. So Aaron Grant, 6'1" with elite speed. I'm taking him. I mean, how could you pass up on an elite speed linebacker? Number 99 in True Value. We took him at 97. It's an average pick. But he does have in development. So maybe he ends up being better than the guy that we just took who didn't have a development trait. You never know. Especially with that speed. All right, and probably my final pick that I make. Actually, yeah, I don't even know if I'll make this pick because I thought we had a 4th round pick, but we don't. So we have a 5th rounder. And is there anybody that's fast? Preferably a running back. Who's the fastest running back available? Oh my God, they're all solid speed. You got to be kidding me. What about wide receivers? Just got great speed, great acceleration. This deep threat, Bryce Bennett, 5'10". He's got all the physicals that I need. He ran a 4.3. You know what? I'm grabbing him, and that's the final pick I'm going to make. We took him at number 158. He's number 100 in True Value. He doesn't have a development trait, but he has 94 speed, 93 excel. I'll take it. And that's going to be the final pick that I make in this first draft. Simulate out of it. I feel that was good. We took all defense except for that wide receiver, and defense was definitely a point of emphasis that we needed to focus on. So let's look at draft recap and see what we got. So we got a 79 in Sammy Adams. And remember, he was ranked number 1. So that's the highest that we've got. Then CJ Holiday ends up being a 75. 74 for Marcus Potter. 70 for Aaron Grant. He wasn't the one that had the development trait, right? Or was he? I think he was the one. Yeah, because he's got the 90 speed. He was the guy that had the development trait. It was Potter that didn't. Then we got Bryce Bennett, who ends up being a 70. They took a tight end in the 6th round who's a 72. And then Stephen Elliott, who we don't care about, is trash. But we knew we got the number 1 player in the class, and that is Sammy Adams. Ooh, we had a chance to get Brian Peralta, strong safety, but I didn't really even notice him. And I wasn't really ever... Strong safety was never really on my target list. But I think that was a successful first draft. Getting the highest rated player in the class at corner, a position that we could definitely need. Super good. And I'm excited to see, man, AR, man, he's here. We got the Honolulu Desperados back. The connection is here. Oh, this team. All we needed was a quarterback. I think this team is going to skyrocket this year. The defense is now looking a little bit better. Eichenberg's a 72, so he actually... I was going to start him, but now we got Holiday, who's a higher overall. So, you know what? He just has to fall back down. We're going to start Kinchins at free safety. Sammy Adams is almost ready to start right away at number 1 corner. This team looks a lot better now. I assume that we're going to win more than 2 games this year with Big Dog AR as our quarterback. I will see you guys the end of year number 2, and I'm expecting some big things from this group. What did I tell you? 9-8. A major improvement by just simply adding Anthony Richardson, an actual quarterback, to our team. Now, obviously, we didn't just add Anthony Richardson to the team. We added a few extra players on defense as well that helped the team out. But, I mean, the real main piece was Anthony Richardson. And this tight end that they drafted me has X Factor. He's an X Factor. I did not see that coming whatsoever. The CPU continues to dominate auto-generated draft picks. But this man really is the key. Anthony Richardson turned up the heat. We brought him in after the first season where we won 2 games, and I realized we needed an actual quarterback. I got super lucky. The gods have gifted me an actual quarterback in Anthony Richardson. And I've been mentioning this previously. We've brought back the Honolulu connection. Both Anthony Richardson and Bijan Robinson were my two big-time players in that Honolulu Desperados series from Madden 24 that just recently ended. So it's nice to see them in a little bit of a reunion of sorts. But the rest of this team, I mean, we are ready to go. We didn't make the playoffs, but we are a good football team. We're going to be good in a couple of years. I'm kind of surprised we didn't make the playoffs this year. But I mean, Anthony Richardson, his first year as the starting quarterback, he'll get better. He needs to get that higher overall. So once we win more games, he'll get those higher overalls. And the rest of the team is young too. You got to remember that. We drafted super young in this fantasy draft. So once those guys get more reps, they get the higher morale, and they get the higher overalls, we'll start winning a lot of football games. 3,300 yards, 24 touchdowns, 9 picks for Anthony Richardson. Very good season from him. Bijan killed it, 1,400 yards and 14 touchdowns. That could be Offensive Player of the Year numbers right there. No 1,000-yard receiver, but we will get there. Rashee Rice was very close. He had 12 touchdowns as well. We'll get a 1,000-yard receiver. I'm not worried about that. Defensively, of course, Jack Campbell dominates as he usually does. The middle linebacker spot in Madden in general is very, very good no matter what playbook you're in. So no matter what playbook you're doing, the middle linebacker is going to have over 100 tackles. That's pretty much 9 times out of 10 what's going to happen. Pete Werner had 103. Sammy Adams, the rookie, with 90. Okay, nice to see that. 20 tackles for loss for Latu. Wow, didn't see that coming. 12.5 sacks for Matabuike. Okay. 4.5 for Newton. 3 for Tyree Wilson. I want to see Tyree Wilson take that next step. I hope he can. 5 picks for Tariq Woolen. We've been asking for him to get his development trade upgrade. That could very well give it to us. That could be star development right there when we get to the Super Bowl week. A lot of picks this year. That's good to see. Good to see that we're turning the football over, getting the ball back in our offense's hands. But we got to get to the Super Bowl. Hopefully, get some good development trade upgrades. I'm not thinking Anthony Richardson's going to go up. He didn't have that good of a year. But Bijan, even if he doesn't win Offensive Player of the Year, I could see him going to X Factor. I could certainly see Jack Campbell getting an upgrade. I could certainly, hopefully, see Tariq Woolen getting an upgrade. So we'll have to wait and see. But the Super Bowl is in the books. I think it was the Vikings versus somebody. And I didn't mean to click on that. But I do want some good news. That is what I want. I want some good news. I want some good development trade upgrades. And I want some good starting base overalls for us to build on for season number 3. Because I did draft super, super young. So we just need to wait on these guys to develop. And they'll get there. They will get there. And yes, so the first question has been answered. Is Bijan going to get a development trade upgrade? He does. He goes up from superstar to X Factor. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. On defense, no Jack Campbell upgrade, but a Tariq Woolen upgrade, and a Jordan Battle, and a Cameron Kinchins up. Okay, so some big-time upgrades from some guys I didn't even have on the radar. Jordan Battle up to superstar, Kinchins up to superstar, Campbell stays star, which I think he was, right? Or was he normal? No, I think he was star. Newton is star, which I think he already was. Adams ends up having star development, which is kind of upsetting because he was the number 1 overall player in that class, but whatever. And then Tariq Woolen crucially gets star development. That is what we needed. This team is looking really... Oh, and Pete Werner. I didn't even notice. Pete Werner gets star development as well. So we are looking really, really good on defense. We just need to add a couple of pieces here and there, and then kind of just ride off of the wave of development. That's really all we need to do. We don't win any awards, which is very unfortunate. Mahomes takes home Offensive Player of the Year. I thought that maybe Bijan would take it, but it's an offensive league. It's a quarterback award. Both MVP and Offensive Player of the Year really is a quarterback award when you think about it. So we don't get it, but it is what it is. We got year number 3 ready to go. We got to get through this off season, spend some money, maybe spend some money. I don't know. $46 million. I did try to re-sign Paris Johnson Jr. There's a ton of guys that we needed to re-sign, and I got most of them, but Paris Johnson was one that I didn't get the first time around. He said no, so I am going to have to bump his offer up slightly, and he's going to come back, thank God, because I needed him back. Caleb Farley, we are going to extend, give him a 3-year deal. I don't want to go too crazy because we don't have that much money left. He's coming back, though. Melifonwu, we don't really need anymore now that Kinchins has taken that next step. And I only drafted Tyquan Thornton because he was super fast, but we've got receivers. I think I'm going to re-sign Melifonwu for the depth, and that's probably it. I think I let everybody else walk. So Melifonwu comes back. He's now our backup free safety. He was never the long-term option anyway, so let's get to free agency. I don't think we're going to be spending too much money. I don't know what's going to be in front of us here in free agency. Maybe we're going to need to spend money, depending on who's available. It is not a whole lot. Jaquan Brisker's cool. We don't need him. And there's a lot of kickers and punters. Okay, this is a good free agent class to not have that much money because there's not really anybody here that I really need to even go after. So perfect. We don't even have to worry about free agency. We can go right to the draft, focus up, save that money, have it roll over to next year, and spend it on getting our guys paid that need to be paid. But a 9-8 season is very, very good. It's certainly a lot better than the 2-win season we had in year number 1. But remember, I drafted super, super young. So we knew something bad was going to happen. And I didn't have a quarterback. And of course, the year that I needed a quarterback, there wasn't one. And now there is this guy, Tommy Hale, who looks like the real deal. I mean, he looks like he's the whole package. He's 6'3", 230. He's built. He is an NFL quarterback. This guy is built for the NFL. That is the prototypical quarterback. If I needed a quarterback, I would be throwing the entire universe to get that guy. And even Morris Marciano is decent behind him, he looks like. But Tommy Hale is a generational type of talent. He looks, to me at least. He doesn't have the athletics like the elite speed or anything like that, but he does look very, very good. Too bad we don't need him. Too bad we don't need him. I don't know where we're going to be picking. We're definitely going to have to take a look at that mock draft. I don't even know where I'm going to send my stuff at. I did switch from middle linebacker. Now we're doing defensive end because you can always use defensive end. So is there any defensive ends that are sneaky good? Doesn't look like it down the board. What about right ends? Nah, this doesn't look like a very good defensive end class, which is not a bad thing, but it's kind of annoying. I was hoping that maybe we could grab ourselves a pretty solid one. We can always look at linebacker, though. You can never have too many linebackers. You never have... Ooh, this guy, Avery Thompson. I'm going to use one on him. I'm going to use one on this Andrew Hall guy. And then I'm going to go back to that D-tackle because that D-tackle intrigued me. Was it Jacoby Copeland? I think it might have been. Yeah, Jacoby Copeland. Okay, so those are going to be my 3 private workouts. And now the most important part, take a look at that mock draft. Where are we picking? So obviously the unanimous number 1 is Tommy Hale. That's pretty obvious. Where are we picking at? We didn't make the playoffs, but we should be pretty low. Yeah, we are picking at 17. Okay. The guys that I scouted were all around 3 to 4, so this number 17 pick, we can kind of just float around and do whatever. I don't think we need to trade up. I don't think it's that kind of draft. There could be some good players in here. Maybe we trade up for this top 5 corner. I didn't see this guy. This Landon Jordan guy. Maybe he's worth trading up for. I mean, we're not in desperate need for a corner, but I see a top 5 true talent. I can't really pass that up too much, you know what I mean? So it's only a few spots. It's only from 17 to 14. That's not that hard at all. I do that in my sleep. So if we go call the Detroit Lions and we ask them for their 14th overall pick, they should be pretty willing to give it to me. Plus I have used my staff points to purchase all of the influence packages to get the trades easier for the draft picks. 17 to 14 straight up. I mean, look at that. 17 to 14 straight up basically is accepted. All we have to do is toss in like a 7th, maybe a couple 7s. Okay, I'll toss in another 7. I probably could toss in a 6 and be over, but who needs 7th round picks, am I right? 2 7th round picks and we jump up to number 14. Easy. Just like that. That's why you got to spend your staff points on those skill trees and the player personnel. Got to get those trade picks up, or make those draft picks easier to trade for. So we've got pick number 14 now. I just hope that, unlike last year, the mock draft actually stays true and our guy is still there. He was a corner and his name was Jordan. I don't see him on the board, so I think he's still available. That's perfect. I don't see it. Tommy Hale does go number 1 overall to the Colts, so they got their next Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck type. But we're going with, I think is it Lamont Jordan? Landon Jordan. Lamont Jordan's a real dude. Landon Jordan. He's going to be our guy. He's a top 5 true talent in the class. I can't pass that up. I can't pass up a true top 5 talent. And he's number 5. It's an A-plus pick because he's a top 5 talent, and we got him at number 14. He's got 94 speed, 92 excel, and he's hidden development, as he should be. He's a stud. We pair him alongside the dude that we took just last year, who was also the best player in his draft. We've got some stud corners now. We've got some stud corners. But now we got to figure out where to go next. Second round pick. I don't really know where to go. I mean, we could just take the guys that are projected to go round 3 to 4 because we know that they're for a fact round 1 talents. So why wait? This gives us a better chance to get everybody that we want. So I think I'm going to grab Andrew Hall first. 6'1", solid speed, really good cover guy. Or at least with the pursuit. He's a really good pass rusher, actually. We're going to take him. I'm not going to waste any time. He was number 21. We got him at 49, so it's still a positive pick, and he's got development trait. Perfect. Perfect. And then I think I'll take the other guy, if he's available, in the 3rd round. That way we make sure that we can maximize how much talent we get in this draft. He's not available. Darn it. He must have got taken early 3rd round. Okay. So we got to pivot. It is the 3rd round, so there still should be some decent speed guys available. A lot of great, but no elite. But there is an elite acceleration right here. This Peter Watkins guy. He's a deep threat. We don't know much about him. He's 6 foot. Great speed, elite acceleration. Can't really do much. He's just a burner. That's all he is. He could be good. Could be very good. But I don't know if I want to waste a 3rd round pick on a wide receiver when we don't really need one. Maybe I go... Who's got the best attributes? Like, who's leading in awareness? What kind of awareness we got working here? We got a tight end. This tight end's been in the top of everything. Then we got an outside linebacker, Orlando Grimes. Is he fast? 5'11". Ooh, okay. He's got a couple decent things. I could be swayed on Orlando Grimes. He's a decent player. He's probably not going to be amazing, but he looks like he's an okay player. We reached on him fairly highly, but he does have a development trait, so I count that as a win. He's not the fastest linebacker in the world, but a development trait always is a win in the end, even if it is star. And the final pick I'm probably going to make of this draft is a round 4 pick. Do I know anybody's talent? We do know a few guys, but they're not really worth taking a round 4, I don't think. Unless some of them are like maybe sneaky good. What about Oscar Bayless? He's 6'6". Not the greatest athlete. He's got beat power moves, but that's really all he's got with him. So he's not really worth taking. How are some of these offensive linemen? Ben Brown, 6'4". A lead block, A impact. Whatever I'm taking, it's probably going to be a normal development guy. That's just kind of the way that it's going to work, I think. So who's got... We don't know a lot of these ratings is the problem. Who hits the hardest? Tyreek Galloway and William Elam. Run stopper. He's got A hit power, beat pursuit. He's just a worse version of the guy that we already have. So, I mean, if I have to take him, I will, but I want to look at that safety. This other safety has A hit power. He's got 6'2", solid speed. He's got A hit power, A pursuit. He doesn't really do anything that great, but it's the 4th round. I'm going to take him anyway. He's probably a bust. Doesn't really matter. I didn't really know where to go with it. And he can hit people hard. So maybe he can get on the field just to hit people. So that's going to be the last pick. Maybe I should let the CPU handle that because they probably would have got me some hidden development guy or something. Who knows? CPU kills it sometimes. Who knows what would have happened. But draft recap. How good was our guy? We know he was number 5 in true talent, and here he is, 77 overall with 94 speed. He's going to be a stud. Andrew Hall is a 75. Grimes, okay, everybody else was a little bit of a miss, but that's okay. At least Grimes has a development trait. And the best players in the class, Mike Hill was the best player with a 79. Bullocks was a 78. Wilkinson was a 78. And then Tommy Hill wasn't even the best player in the class, which is kind of shocking to me because he had all the makings of a stud. He had all the makings of a stud. And we kind of got cheated out of a top 5 pick because our guy Landon Jordan's tied with like 4 other guys for the final spot. So it's not a real top 5, but it technically is because he's tied. So I don't really count that as a true top 5 talent, considering he was with everybody else. But he's still a very good player. Still a very, very good player. Season number 3, we should see even more massive improvements because we've got an X-Factor running back now. Our offensive line's getting even better, and I'm expecting Anthony Richardson to get even better. And I will start to tinker with the playbooks if we need to. Did I already do that? I don't remember. No, I'm still on D'Amico Ryans. I'm going to go a third season. If we need to switch our playbooks, we certainly will. We got an 82% on a 4-6 defense, so I guess we'll run that. But we're going to still run D'Amico Ryans, and we'll see if we can make a difference. We've got a good offense. We've got a good defense. We switched to a 4-3 or a 4-6, so that means the linebackers are getting not as much playtime, and the defensive linemen are, which could end up being good, but we got a lot of linebackers that are pretty decent, so hopefully they can find some ways onto the field. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'm going to simulate year number 3, and we're going to find out if we see any improvements. We won 9 games in year number 2. I'm hoping to win at least double digits and hopefully make the playoffs and maybe even make a surprise run. You never know. Just like I predicted, we had some major development upgrades in terms of our guys getting better overalls. The morale boosts are kicking in, and we finished with our best record by far. The number 1 seed in the AFC, a 14-win season. I mean, just think of the difference between year number 1, where we had all these young guys, these raw guys, and we had a bad quarterback. We won 2 games. We flipped that in the next season. We sign Anthony Richardson. We draft some really good players, and these raw guys start to play amazing. We go 9 wins. And then in year number 3, we draft even more good players. Those young guys continue to get better, and in year number 3, the prophecy has fulfilled itself. 14 wins. It's fantastic. How'd the boys do? How did the boys do? Anthony Richardson put up a fantastic season. 3,800 yards, 32 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. I'm fully predicting at least 1, maybe even 2 1,000-yard receivers. Certainly 1. But this is a great season for Anthony Richardson, and an even better season for Bijan Robinson. This right here has to be Offensive Player of the Year. He didn't get it last year. You could even make the argument he was robbed of it by Patrick Mahomes. Quarterback bias. Patrick Mahomes bias. But this year, it's undeniable. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him. Bijan deserves Offensive Player of the Year. And we do get one 1,000-yard receiver. It's Rashee Rice. I'm very glad we drafted him. He always performs very, very well in simulation in Madden because he's a very good player. 17 touchdowns, 1,300 yards. The rest of the team really hasn't done too much, but they're performing and they're producing good numbers. I guess it's okay. And then defensively, yep, Jack Campbell, 100 tackles, no surprise. Pete Werner had a good season. Sammy Adams in his second year continues to dominate, and Justin Madubuike, 16.5 sacks. Let's just have this be known that if you want to have a defense that produces a lot of sacks, or at least a lot of sacks by a single player, run defensive playbook Houston Texans, because you're going to be producing some tackles for loss, and you're going to be producing some sacks, because Newton had 10, he also had 14 tackles for loss, even Latu had 6 with 13 tackles for loss, so you're producing a lot of pressure in the backfield. Interception-wise, you don't always get a ton, but depends on what you want. Do you want sacks or do you want interceptions? You got to balance it out. There's playbooks out there that get you a lot of interceptions. Pete Werner had 3, 2 for Campbell, 2 for Farley. Kinchins and Woolen both had 1, but those are very, very good numbers. And now we take on the division rival Indianapolis Colts, who had the number 1 pick in the draft the previous year, and they took what I consider a generational quarterback, the way that he looked. And they're 11-6 now, so maybe he turned it around for him. I have no idea. But they're going to run into a buzzsaw. Absolute buzzsaw that is the Houston Texans. And they don't stand a chance. Yes, sir. Victory for the Texans. And now we take on the Buffalo Bills. These Bills be crazy. I don't know what's going to happen in this game. We are certainly going to jump in and try to find out. But first off, I want to see the morale boost. I want to see these overalls for the boys. Show me some good stuff. Yes, Anthony Richardson's getting some good boost. The offensive line's going crazy. The wide receivers are playing well. Bijan's dominating. Kyle Pitts is now developing. What about the defense? Show me some good stuff on defense. Campbell's getting good. Newton's up to an 88 with the morale boost. Matabuike is a 95, a true 95. And then Latu's playing amazing. Latu's been one of the bigger surprises. Him and Kinchins. Kinchins went from normal development to superstar. He's a stud. Jordan Battle's great. We've built a great cornerback room, adding 2 draft picks in Landon Jordan and Sammy Adams, both top 5 in their classes. Sammy Adams being number 1 in his class. So I think it's safe to say we've built quite the DB room. But I mean, we already started off great because we didn't have to worry about the offensive line at all. We drafted a fantastic offensive line in the fantasy draft, so it wasn't really much of an issue this entire time. But we still got 2 games to win. The AFC Championship and then the Super Bowl. Let's go get that AFC title. Here we go. It is AFC Championship time, and while I was loading in, I did see that the quarterback for this Buffalo Bills squad is J.J. McCarthy, so a guy that we had the chance to draft in that original fantasy draft to start the episode or start the video, so maybe that'll come back to haunt me. I don't know. Buffalo is fighting back. I mean, they won 13 games for a reason, so obviously JJ's doing something right. 24-16, though, our defense has got to step up. They just got to. 24-22, we got to put more points on this board. Come on, 25-24. Come on, Anthony. Kick the field goal. We stop them. We turn them over. Just drive the game. End the game. 30-25. They have to score a touchdown, and I think they will. They drove down pretty quickly, and they scored the touchdown. That's crazy. This could be the end of the game. 37 seconds, all 3 of our timeouts. This could very well be the game. We've got some good receivers on the field, and under 30 seconds, possibly, to make an impact, I got hit on the throw. I thought I was going to have the time. I really was hoping for the time. Didn't get it. Did not, in fact, get that time. Is somebody going to win down the field? Because that would really be useful. And I think they might have. Get that. It's going to be Keon Coleman. Go, Keon. Go, Keon. Oh, my God. He was so close. Call that timeout. 25 seconds. Keon Coleman immediately puts us in field goal range. That is an unbelievable catch. I wish Keon had the speed to outrun the corner there. He had the speed to get by him enough. Keon again. Finish the drive, Keon. And he does. Keon Coleman might have just sent the Texans to the Super Bowl. It took 3 plays. Keon Coleman. Kind of an unsung hero. It was really all about Rashee Rice and Jackson Smith-Njigba. But Keon Coleman might have done it. They want me to jump in. You know what? I will. 19 seconds, 2 timeouts for Buffalo. And they've got J.J. McCarthy in the backfield. He's going to roll. No, he's not. He's going to fire it in. Intercepted. He threw it right to Smith. It's Cam Smith with the pick. And that's going to be the ball game. We are going to walk away with a victory. J.J. McCarthy threw a pick right to Cam Smith. What's he doing? There was no space. Why would he throw that? Why are you mad, J.J.? That was on you. There was nobody there. Unbelievable. And we are going to walk away with a victory over the Buffalo Bills. A comeback. And the Texans will play in the Super Bowl. Oh, JJ, that's a sell as bad as I've ever seen, big dog. I don't know if you can show your face in Buffalo after that game. That's a tough one for you, JJ. He threw it right to Cam Smith. I mean, Cam was just sitting there in his zone. He didn't have to move. JJ threw it right to him, and it is over for Buffalo. Houston moves on to the Super Bowl, man. That's crazy. What a mistake. What a sell from J.J. McCarthy. That's what I would expect from a Michigan man, to sell that important game like that. It's not surprising. But we are playing in the Super Bowl. I don't know who we're playing against, but we're playing in it. And Anthony Richardson's going up. Bijan, Rashee Rice is going up. Oh, we're playing the Detroit Lions. They only went 10-7. We are by far the favorite. And I do see on the bottom of the screen, my camera's covering it, but Offensive Player of the Year is Bijan Robinson. Do we get any dev trade upgrades? We're at Super Bowl week. Dev trade upgrades. AR is a superstar. Zion is a superstar. Rashee is a superstar. The offense is finally cooking. I think we've built a dynasty here. We just got to actually get it done on the field. But no development trade upgrades on defense? Really? Even with Matabuike's season that he had? Wow. Okay. No defensive upgrades. But still, the offense gets major upgrades, including Zion Johnson. That's a huge upgrade to get him up to superstar. That's 2 guards now with superstar development. And now Anthony Richardson, adding superstar to his career is amazing. And now we got to finish it. We got one more game left to do against the Lions. Whoever wins this wins their first ever Super Bowl in their franchise's history. I think we're the favorite, obviously. We just got to go out there and prove it. It is the Super Bowl, and before they even give me a moment, we're already leading 14-0. So I'd say that's quite the start to a Super Bowl, 17-0. This Detroit Lion team, I think they might have had a good season over the NFC side of things, but they're obviously a little bit outmatched against the firepower we've produced here. I mean, we've got talent all across the board. Every single position we've got talent in. 24-7, late fourth quarter now. It's 24-14. Lions not going to give up. We got to put one more touchdown on there. Yes, there we go. 31-14. That's going to be the ball game. They might have added 21 points, but it's over. And just like that, the Houston Texans have won the Super Bowl. We have completed. Oh, they had Caleb Williams. That's pretty cool. We have completed the fantasy draft rebuild. And it was fairly simple, too. I did not think it was going to be this easy. 3 seasons is all it took. We went from a 2-win football team to a 9-win football team to a 14-win football team and Super Bowl champions. I mean, obviously, we were definitely blessed by getting Anthony Richardson in that first offseason, because if we didn't, I didn't really know where to go with the offense. Now, if we wouldn't have got Anthony Richardson, I probably would have waited to draft a quarterback the next offseason, which in fact would have had that guy the Colts drafted number 1 overall. So I certainly would have gotten a good quarterback in the end, but it definitely would have taken us a lot longer because Richardson was already established. We already had those good players around him. If I didn't get Anthony Richardson, who knows how much longer, maybe another extra season, maybe 2 at the most to get that quarterback ready to go. But it didn't matter because we got Richardson. And we got super blessed by the AI drafting in the fantasy draft. I mean, I don't know what they did to change it, but it is definitely different. There is no way that in Madden 24, all of these young guys that I drafted were going to be there in the rounds that I got them in. I mean, we got, like, studs later in the rounds, way later than I feel like they ever have been, especially the offensive linemen. Usually offensive linemen, young offensive linemen go super quick because they obviously have that potential. Same thing with receivers. Same thing, obviously, with quarterbacks. So, I mean, it's wild. Wild how fast we rebuilt this team. And Tommy Hale does win Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's the guy I was talking about. Anthony Richardson wins Super Bowl MVP. We don't win any other awards except for Super Bowl MVP, but we got our Super Bowl, and that's all that matters because this rebuild is now officially in the books. Maybe I'm going to have to, now that I know that possibly, now maybe because this was an outlier, maybe this fantasy draft was just, I got super lucky. Who knows? But if I do another one and it's similar where we can get all of this talent right off the bat, then maybe I'm going to have to add some different challenges. Maybe I'll bring back the blindfolded rebuild, fantasy draft rebuild, to add a little bit more challenge because, I mean, there wasn't really much of a challenge to it. We got all of these guys. Literally, I didn't make a single trade. I didn't sign a single free agent except for Anthony Richardson and some backups. We signed, hold on, let me look at this. So, this team is exactly how it was when I drafted. If I put Joe Milton here, this team is exactly, and I changed this guy because he got drafted. But if I put this right here, this picture, this is the exact team that I drafted. It's the exact team. But then we added the addition of Anthony Richardson in that first free agency period. We drafted this guy, although he was an auto-generated guy, he still got drafted by us. And then on defense, this is the exact team. We did add a couple of young guys in the draft, but this is the team that I drafted. I didn't make rarely any signings or any draft or any trades or anything like that. All we did was draft a few good players and just had the team develop. So if that's how easy it's going to be in fantasy drafts this year, then I'm definitely going to have to add some different hindrances and challenges to make it a little bit more difficult because there's no way that I'm going to be making videos about with fantasy draft implications if it's that easy, because then what's the point? Then you just don't make the video then. So there's definitely going to have to be maybe some blindfold stuff going on again. I've done those in the past. Maybe some restrictions on making the trades more difficult, or making maybe like completely Xing out free agency as a whole, or maybe doing a fantasy draft but not drafting any rookies. Like there's going to have to be some extra bits to the videos if I'm going to involve a fantasy draft. So if you want to leave comments down below, with some challenge ideas that include fantasy drafts and that don't have to include fantasy drafts, just some challenge ideas in general for rebuilds, leave them down below in the comments. I'd be happy to take them on in the future. But if you enjoyed this video, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.